What's happening, boys? Well, good.
Very well, mate.
Well, goody. We've only got 7 made of these today.
I can kick us off with a comment. I'll start us off as we mean to go on because Scottish TV Gold is already posted. Even in all 7 games to go, time for us to believe.
I know. It's been 7 more podcasts. Could be either the greatest ever podcast you've ever seen in your whole entire life for Hearts fans, or the greatest ever podcast for anybody that doesn't support Hearts. I could feel it burning a hole in the back of my head. All the bookmarks, all the comments, all the people, all the house fans that have that choose intros. They've got them ready. They've got them ready to rock and roll, haven't they?
How long are you going to go into hiding if that happens? Shall we just disband now?
I think how good the choose intro is going to be for the one that wins is the league. Maybe a 45-minute intro.
And it'll just be against every single club in the league, is that right?
Every single person that's existed in the last 41 years. It's going to be absolute. I get it. I'll be digging up everybody. Well, what a difference a week makes, huh? We'll talk about Saturday. We'll get a little bit of a break before our next game. We'll talk about our next game, which is away to Livingston. Talk about the title race, where we sit, where we're at, just some general feelings of how we're all doing. How are the nerves? How is the excitement? What's my relationship with my toilet's never been more intimate. I think I'm in there more than I see Alana and the kids like it. So I think I've even just told Alana I've got my own toilet now in the house. I'm like, this is just mine. Like, this is just mine until like the 17th of May or whenever it is.
Like sign on the door.
Give them 10-minute time slots each to see them, and then the rest is spit on the toilet. Is that?
Yeah, exactly that. Any comments as well? Just fire them in. We'll get through them, and it's on your mind. Obviously, we'll talk about everything Hearts, where we're at. It felt pivotal on Saturday. Again, insanely comfortable as well is something that I think's been missed in the reflection of the game from everybody that wasn't there or seen it. I think everybody, even Stephen Presley, after the game spoke about the fact that it was a pretty comfortable victory for Hearts, even though the scoreline made it seem more narrow. So we'll talk about the game, talk about the returning players, and just a whole load of shit in between. All right, boys?
Sounds good. And I tell you what, I actually love it when you're right. And you're right quite a lot, but when you said it was our turn last week, and then obviously Sunday happened as well. And
I don't think I'll be the only fan that seen that coming. I think that we're in such a strange place, all 3 clubs. Rangers have got this little bit right now where they could get a bit of momentum because of the back-to-back home games. They play Aberdeen, then they play Dundee United on Saturday at home before they play Falkirk away before the split. So speaks and troughs, we kind of knew that we had that little bit after the Rangers game where we knew we had 2 home games. And if you can take care of your home games, then it puts pressure on everybody else, which we did. And then again, at the weekend there, you're looking at, although Aberdeen are absolute dog shit, they do raise their game when they play Rangers, so there was potential there. And then poor Celtic having to go play in that bone-dry Dundee United pitch that we scalped them 3-0 on when it was soaking wet and covered in sludge, and we battered them. So it must have been so much worse having to play in it when it was bone-dry. So I kind of just felt that we were potential heading towards another upset. And again, I think the next round of fixtures has got upset somewhere along the line written all over it as well. Hearts versus Levy fighting for their life. Celtic at Dundee. I thought Dundee were actually fairly decent on Saturday. Dundee United need to beat Rangers on Saturday to stand any chance of finishing top 6, depending on what Falkirk do in their game. So, loads of twists and turns still to come, I'd imagine. Ando, what's been happening?
Not much, man. All my travels this week, so I'm down in the nation's capital taking care of some work business, but back up the road tomorrow. But the weekend was good. Another weekend, and it seems to be a repeated theme this season. I've been doing a lot of drinking, and I mean a lot of drinking with Kev. Obviously, can he be here tonight, and we wish his in-law as well, but
Yep.
he sadly can't make it. But out in the piss, a game with him, and then Tam and former show host Brad's were along for the ride on Saturday as well. So it was a good afternoon. All ends up, to be honest. It was I enjoyed myself. So, but I'm going to miss the Livy game on whenever we play. Is it a week on Saturday? Or a week on Sunday?
Weekend Sunday.
It's Sunday, right? We're at a do on the overnight, and have an overnight on the Saturday into the Sunday. So there's no way I can make it, which is a bummer. But fucking hell, I just said bummer for the first time.
Yeah.
19.
Don't drop B bombs in here, like.
No, it's shocking. But I know, it's been a good week. Really enjoyed myself. So long may it continue.
Thomas, what's been happening?
Aye, very similar to Ando. Long day out on Saturday, which the highlight obviously was the game, and as you say, we've got the 3 points. That's all that matters.
I got a run-in commentary how many times you went to the toilet in Platform 5. So people that watch the show, if that's what we're calling it, listen to the podcast, please. I do not care. I know how many times he goes to the toilet. I have to fucking do this once a week with him. So please, I do not need to know that he was in Platform 5 for 35 minutes and seen the toilet 4 times.
It also doesn't help when the nerves kick in as well. So, because I'm a wee nervous guy, as you know. So if we're going for P's, it's even worse. Amplified.
We all dialed onto the platform at 21:05, and just for anybody out there in listener land, it's 21:16. Tam's already been for 2 pisses. That's not even a joke.
I know, and he's now starting to pretend he's got other things to do. He's like, is that a doorbell? Oh,
that's my Amazon guy.
No, that's Asda. Asda showed up. You're like, hi, we know your game. We know your game. Did you come to the Livy game the last time?
It's been a while since I've been at Livy, to be fair. Good. The last time I was there, it was 0-0. And it was absolutely terrible. And so yeah.
Well, I'm delighted that you're not coming in, because we're at that stage of the season now where whatever you were wearing, whatever you did, whatever your pre-match routine is, you cannot break it now. You just have to do it. 100%. And we were at the point where Freddie came back for Dubai, and we lost to Kilmarnock, and me and him were stood next to each other at the game at Kilmarnock, and I was like, mate, you'd have to go back to a war, but you'd fucking have to do it here. I'll pay for you to leave. Like, I swear to God. And, so this week we've won where I'm in the country, so that's all right. At least he doesn't have to leave the country. So for the Livy game, we'll be outside welcoming the team and doing a display, so you can be outside the stadium, and if we win, he might be able to come into the stadium for Motherwell, depending on how it goes.
Just gradually ease them back in.
Just easing them back in. And the campaign to get built to every away game, my dad has to take shape, because my dad needs to come to every away game because he's no lost one.
This is like you're making the joke about getting a blow-by-blow commentary of every time Tam goes for a piss, right? And Kev, because he's not here to defend himself, I'm calling him out right now, right? Half of the game on Saturday and pretty much every game this season, he's been, oh, look, Corbett sat down, he's got his hood up, he's fucking looking at the ground. I'm like, I got more commentary on what you were doing for across the stadium. Mate, on Saturday than I ever get for Kev on the actual game.
I tried everything on Saturday to get Hearts to score. I had sunglasses on. I was getting sunburn in the first half. I took them off for the start of the second half. I unzipped my jacket, thinking I had my jacket zipped up. Maybe that's what was wrong. And then I sat down and we scored for the free kick. So I had to sit down for the rest of the game. I was like, couldn't you see anything? All I could see was arses and lower end, man.
I sat in G for the first half. And then got annoyed that we weren't winning, so moved back to my usual seat. So I can't move now. So
you cannot move, mate. You cannot move. We say Shanks appeared in lower end for, was it Aberdeen or something? And you know what he's like? He comes in like an absolute noise. He was having the time of his life on his 15th stag do of the day. And I was like, mate, you need to get out of here. I was like, get out of here. Like, you cannot be here. You cannot stand beside me. As Thomas experienced when we played St Mirren, he showed up at lower end. I was like, mate, I love you to bits, but don't fucking stand next to me. Go away. Stand anywhere.
Well, it stood with Bill and had a great time anyway, so it's fine. At least I got some chat. At least.
I see in the comments, Tam, you're in charge of this, so I'm not going to steal your fire. Was it Gavaldo is fucking chatting away there, and that's the boy we met in the pub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, good. Right.
He often encourages me not to look at the ground. I'm like, mate, I can't help. Exactly. And when I didn't look, so I didn't watch any single corner at the St Mirren. I didn't watch any corner at the St Mirren game, and then looked up just as the ball was coming in, and they scored, and I was like, fuck. So it's at this point now. We've got 7 games left. Everybody just has to embrace it. We just have to embrace it. Luckily, we did lose at Kelly because I had 2 jackets on, and it's starting on Saturday. I was only wearing a normal amount of jackets, and I was already getting sunburned standing in the lower end. So if I'd had 2 jackets on and 2 jumpers on, I probably would have passed out at some point.
I forgot my sunglasses at the weekend, and was sitting in the pub, and it was quite nice. So I went to a wee shop in the corner, bought a pair for $4.99, and they're absolutely shockers. But does that mean I now need to wear them at every single game?
Yes. Everything you did on Saturday has to be done. So when we went to again, it's our fault, right? So one Bill never went to Kelly, but me and Wilson went together, and Wilson stood on the concourse, and I stood in the bottom, which is that can never happen again. But also Wilson bought a Bovril before half-time. And I'm like, no, you buy a Bovril at half-time. That's what we did. So we bought a Bovril at half-time on Saturday, and we won. So whatever your pre-match routine is, you cannot change it, or you're going to cost us a title. So you just have to come to terms with it.
Tam, keep in mind then, for the walk down, you bought a cherry ice vape and 2 cans of dragon soup. So that's going to have to be done.
You're such a classy guy. You're a classy guy.
Every single game been on.
I usually drive to. What does that mean? I'm fucked.
I'm lucky, mate.
Your old man will like it. He'll like a cherry vape and a dragon soup.
Right. I think. Well, there's no news. I think most of the news is. I think tomorrow, the remainder of the Livy tickets go on sale. I think.
It's not been announced specifically, but they've got more, so it should hopefully sell out the full free stands.
Yeah, it will sell. It'll sell it in a day, easy. It'll sell it in a day, easy. So that'll be the full free stands. We'll give more information at the time, but there's going to be a display at Livy, and then we'll, like I said, Saturday, welcome the team to Tynecastle. Thanks to everybody that showed up. It's a bit messy and unorganised because the players do show up in cars, but it's something that we're going to have to do all the time. I've spoke at length to the club about getting them to show up to Tynecastle in a bus, but they don't want to mess with the players' routines, which is fair enough. I absolutely get it. I absolutely get it. But I think for Livy, we welcome the team bus to Livingston, so I'll have details of what time to be there and all that sort of stuff. I know it's like 2 hours before the game kicks off, but it makes a huge difference. I've said it earlier when I was on Heart Standard as well, is that these are the things that we're going up against 2 juggernauts in the game that are used to winning absolutely everything, and their fans are really switched on as to when they have to get behind the team and dig the team out, and they'll go the extra mile to do all that stuff. And like we've been saying for ages, is these aren't the normal Saturdays anymore. There's only 7 of them left. We have to be doing everything we possibly can to get the team a G up and get them over the line. Braga was the one that received the sort of hero's welcome against Aberdeen with the pyro and fireworks, etc. Man of the match scores the winning goal. Shankland that kind of get the biggest reception on Saturday. Comes on, the whole stadium. We'll talk about that in a wee minute anyway. But the whole stadium got a lift. The team got a lift, and we go on and win the game. So we'll post details to what we're doing, but be ready to be at either Tynecastle or the away grounds that we're playing in for welcoming the team wherever we're playing. Because, like I said, we've got seven games left to try and do anything that we possibly can to help the team get out of the line. So we'll keep you
comments
posted
after the game were good as well. Shankland about the atmosphere coming out of the stadium. obviously Celtic give them a lift, and this is what they need. So, as we've heard all season from McInnes, the players, it's just about getting behind them.
Aye, and like I say, it's insane that if anybody's ever seen the players' entrance at Hearts, it's incredible that that's the players' entrance. It's a fucking bin chute at the back of the wheat field, mate. It's like, come on, man. Like, so anything that we can do to sort of G them up and make them feel a wee bit special, because they get fucking no inspiration from walking past 15 glass buckets and fruit and veg containers at the back of the Gorgie hospitality bit or whatever. So we definitely, anything that we could do to help that is a must, because I think, like I've spoken it before, and I'm not going to bore everybody where we're at, but especially for the big games, Hearts should arrive at Tynecastle on a team bus, stop at McLeod Street, walk down the plaza, have barriers either side. They can walk over the heart of Midlothian into the stand, and also make the away team do that. Like, yeah. And again, like we talked about before, anybody that's ever been to Ibrox or anybody that's ever been to Celtic Park, especially Celtic Park now, because they have that Celtic way thing, when we go there, we could be potentially on a title decider when we go to Celtic Park, and our players will have to get off that bus and walk from the bus up that path with, basically it's walking the gauntlet of Celtic fans either side, give them absolute dog's abuse. And if you don't think that has an impact or plays a part, then I would suggest that you don't really know football too much, and that's what's needed at Hearts. We need to stop being nice. We need to stop letting away teams sneak in the back door to get into Tynecastle. We need to treat our players like absolute heroes, and we need to give the team that we're playing against absolute pelters so that they're in a game.
How do the away teams actually get in? Because obviously the buses always park outside, like the social club.
They do kind of the same thing as what they do the same kind of thing as what the home players do. Is the bus will park outside the Gorgie Social Club or at the turnstile entrance, and they just walk in the bit where they put like the cherry pickers and all that stuff at the corner flag at N. They walk in there. Hearts park behind the wheat field.
Yeah.
Aye, they don't walk through the front door now. So the players will walk in the side entrance, and then Hearts players park in the parking spaces at the back at the community pitches, and then Gerrard's Yard, and literally walk through the back of like the hospitality suite bit, where it's like genuinely, it's about 15 skips, 15 bins, rubbish bits, hangways there. The walls aren't even painted. It's where they store the goalposts and all that stuff. And then they walk through the pylon and come out at the corner flag and walk along the Gorgie and in. And it's like, I get it because the players want to park there, etc. But for big games, they should be parking at the Orium and driving down and letting the fans greet them to the stadium like heroes. But we know that anyway. Hey, what was that comment there about the Orium? I never seen it. Sorry.
It basically just said what you just said. Get the players to park at the Orium, bus into the main entrance, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Get it now. Not
start that from next season though. Don't.
Aye, exactly. No, I get that. I absolutely get that. But I thought actually to start in that way, I know we've kind of become a unofficial spokesperson or fucking gobshite on this stuff. But I thought the crowd on Saturday were class. Even like the reaction to like the Kabori miss and all that sort of stuff, people understood that we have to get behind the guy. Like it wasn't. People were disappointed that he'd missed, but it was more of a like fucking yes, come on, like keep going type thing rather than get him off. And then when the sort of patience and the sort of nervousness was getting close to getting over the top or boiling over, Shankland came on and mate, Shankland must have felt 40 foot tall. If you ever had any lingering doubts that fucking the cranks in our support, that there was a small minority that wanted him at the club, still want him at the club or didn't want there, that was put to bed. He got probably the best reception for a player coming on that I've seen for a very, very long time.
I thought it was for Blair Spittle, no?
No, right, I forgot it was for Blair, right?
Oh, no, okay,
like Spitz has been classic.
Buzz like King Kong.
Aye, mate, he would have been absolutely buzzing because it was some reception, and Cammy got a great reception at the start of the game
as well. Yeah.
But
you see it, you're saying the lift in the stadium with the fans, but the players seem to as well. Even Like Kizaridis again was a bit off it, but as soon as Shankland came on, his confidence level would go up a couple of notches, and you're like, just knows that he's going to be there, and it's going to be a different game.
Well, I was actually thinking about this earlier, and I don't know maybe somebody in the comments or one of you will know off the top of your head, but I was actually trying to look to see who the goal scorers have been since Shankland dropped it. I think Kabori's got 2. I think Braga's got 2. Leonard.
Yep.
McEntee.
Who scored Kizzy scored at Dundee United. Like, I don't think anybody scored barrel loads of goals without Shankland there.
We've won every game pretty much 1-0, so aye.
Yep.
You know.
Halkett included as well.
Yep, Halkett, Magnuson, the Derby winner, etc., etc. So, like, I think it's unfair to point the finger only at Kabori. You know what I mean? I think that everybody can see that Braga's been impacted without Shankland. Kizaridis, I think, is the one that sticks out the most for me. Yep. Is really struggling without Shankland. So, yeah, brilliant to have him back, and not just him, to have. It looks like for Livingston we're going to have pretty much everybody back. Touchwood, which
family training again today as well.
Yep. And we talked about it before. Like, the Kingsley one is the one for me that sticks out. It's one of those ones that's not like doesn't feel like it's a huge loss, but it's that opportunity and the versatility that you have to be able to move Milne around, to have somebody natural on the left hand side. I think that's really stymied us with the fact that Milne has literally only been able to play left back. Now, he's absolutely is his best position as left back 100%, but we have struggled on that right hand side. I actually thought we were better on the right hand side on Saturday. We're more balanced without potentially being as creative as what we want, but I think that's a reflection of the team's sort of lack of confidence in Kabori. But again, we can talk about that later. Just wanted to say that I thought that the crowd on Saturday was brilliant. It was rocking when it needed to be. In the last sort of 10 minutes were bouncing, which was good to see.
I still didn't get it though. Folk leaving at 85 minutes or 89 minutes or whatever, and you're just like, I get some people might have to leave, right? But what are you doing?
I know, I didn't understand it myself, to be honest with you. Actually, one of my rare times when I was looking up for the ground, I said that to Wilson. I was like, mate, look at the Wheatfield, mate. Streams of people heading to the exits or just standing at the exits watching the game. Now, that could be a whole host of things, because with the Gorgie Road being shut just after Lucky's, and that, it's an absolute nightmare to get out and get home. But like, aye.
So, like, see personally, right? If it's an evening game, right, and it's midweek, generally I'll have driven up, right, and because I park on Hutchison Road, leaving at 85 minutes makes a massive. Basically it's half an hour's difference between me getting home at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I drive down, right? So I'm not going to say I've got a special exemption because I fucking travel like quite big distances to watch us, but it's just going to come down to things like that, right? So and again, like, if it's a Saturday afternoon 3 o'clock kickoff, I'll be there to the death. There's no point in me leaving early, because the train I get home is like 6:30 or 7 or whatever. But if it's an evening game, it's a big difference between getting home at the back of midnight or 1 a.m, especially when you've got work the next day. But I get that I'm in probably a minority because of the distances I travel, but for the vast majority of people, just
there's a big difference.
Fucking 10 minutes.
There's a big difference between you living in Newcastle and somebody going back to fucking West Calder. I mean, just fucking wait, man. Like, right. I didn't get. I understand that people, and we're not the authority on what you should do and what you shouldn't do, but there'll be people watching me going, "What a waste of a fucking season ticket!" It just looks at the ground. Like, I absolutely get it. I understand it, but it does feel like it's now the business end of the season. You know, it's like it's just weird. I'll never understand that. That I don't know when it'll kick in, because I still didn't feel like it's pure excitement at the game. Like, it still feels, I don't know, there's still trepidation there about. I don't know if it's because it's getting realer and realer the closer that it gets. By the end of the 90 minutes against Livingston, there are only 6 games left, which is absolutely which is insane to think about. But
maybe they're all like you. They all left at fucking 85 minutes in the first couple of games of the season.
Well, to be fair, if you did leave at 85 minutes against Dundee, I'm sorry, but you have to fucking leave at 85 minutes against Motherwell, I'm afraid. I'll be getting Mr. Easton, the stadium announcer guy, to be like, put a sign up being like, everybody out, please head for the exits, please. But cool. Right, anything else before we talk about football? Anything else that's caught your eye?
You mentioned the crowd being class on Saturday, and I do agree up to a point. But I think for I don't know, there was a proper nervousness. I don't know if it was just the lads at Sitway and G or whatever, but there wasn't a lot of noise coming out of anybody, apart from Kev, because obviously he was pissed. But like it had. I've been in games where it's been nervy, right? And that's natural. As you say, we're getting towards the business end of the season and there's a lot on the line, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But Saturday for me, especially the early part of the first half, felt a lot more nervy than it has in more recent weeks. And that might just be a localised thing because of where I sit. But then, and I'm no conflating two different things. Like, nobody was on the players' backs, nobody was criticising, nobody was going mental. It was just quiet. Like, a lot of folks sat in their hands, weren't getting involved in the chants like they would normally. Like, almost like you're waiting for something to go wrong or seeing how the game's gonna pan out before you actually try and lift it a wee bit. But then obviously the rest of the stadium just kind of brought everybody along and it got better and better. But it felt really, really nervy to start with, I think, on Saturday.
I think it was still there was still nerves there, but I think that a lot of that probably comes down to how we played in the game in the first half. We created some chances, but we weren't totally fluid in the first half, and I think that
wasn't a lot.
I think, like we said, like people, and the thing I like the most about it is the crowd were kind of there seems to be like a willingness for guys like Kabore and Chesnikov and stuff like the crowd's almost willing them on to be good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, prove us wrong, go do something. And as the game went on, and it was becoming more and more obvious that, especially like, you've got Shankland on the bench, right? So it's like the elephant in the room. Everybody could sense that, like, get him on, now, because it would have ran through everybody's mind when Kabore misses his chance to be like, right, Shankland on, please. It's time for that. So I think there was like as the longer the game went on, although I never felt Dundee really caused us any real problems, I didn't feel that we had that cutting edge. I think the manager actually nailed it after the game when he was talking about that. We made it into really decent positions on the pitch, but never either took the man on and attacked the byline, or we never got it into the ball early. And actually, to be fair to Kabore, the one time that we actually did get the ball into the box early, he had the header that was just inches wide. And then obviously he gets the run over the top again as well, where he just rush of blood tries to execute what he didn't manage to do against Aberdeen. So I thought that was more probably a reflection of where the team was and how we were playing, type of thing. But on the whole, I thought that the atmosphere was where it needed to be for a bog standard game, with then not outside the context of the fact that it was 8 games to go and we needed to win and bounce back for Kelly.
Yeah.
So
no, not true.
Anything starting 11 wise, anything take you by surprise when you seen the team come out?
I didn't realise Halkett was injured until the teams came out, so that was weird. But I suppose the biggest shock when you seen them actually on the field was Altena and McEntee's positioning. I thought it might have been the other way around in a sense, but I'll caveat that by saying I actually thought it worked out really well through the course of the game. And as you say, the defensively we looked strong, and Altena going forward, he was very good on Saturday, to be fair.
Yeah, I actually thought when we kicked off that we started more like a 3-5-2, and then 10-15 minutes in moved to the sort of 4-2-2-2 thing that we've seen, because Altena kind of started wide right and then finished at half inside right, if that's that shape thing. So, and I hate everybody that was next to me on Saturday would have heard that anyway, that all the formations 4-4-2 but a box in midfield, I hate it. It's my least favourite of the formations. But I actually felt that from an attacking sense, Altena was everything that we kind of knew or think that he's going to be. Takes the ball in the half turn, always looking forward, is comfortable taking his man on, great vision, good range of passing. And then I think that McEntee had a pretty solid game defensively.
Yep.
But what you lose from McEntee from an attacking threat from open play, you obviously gain from set plays, etc., as you see, because he scores the goal. But it was strange to see us play that way, because we're quite narrow. But you listen to the manager talk about why after the game, and it makes sense. And again, it's this situation where if you win, then you get to explain all your amazing decisions, and then you don't look daft. Whereas if you lose, then you get nothing but scrutiny, because mirror how we played on the right hand side on Saturday versus how we played on that right hand side against Kilmarnock, and it was insane. It was like they looked like two different teams.
See, just on that, on the right side of the park, right? So, and I've spoken to Kev's brother at length about this, which is so. To your point, Tam, about Altena starting a little bit further forward on the right on Saturday. Where does Sabak or Jota come into this equation, right? Because see the boy, I couldn't even tell you how many minutes he's played in a Maroon jersey this year, right? It's not going to be a lot, right? He's made a few substitute appearances. He's got a couple of assists. Actually, I think he's 2 or maybe 3 assists for his limited amount of time on the park. What does this guy need to do in order to get a game? I think could he not be pretty capable? Because when he comes on as a sub, and I get it's the dying embers of the game, he's fresh legs, he's got a wicked delivery on him. He seems to offer quite a lot whenever he's on the park. Yet he never ever features in the match day starting 11. I just don't get it.
We talked about this last week about Jota, about Jota feeling that he could feel hard done to not getting a game. And again, it'll go down to, it's a balancing act, when everybody can see that we're not as fluent in front of goal as what we have been. So if you're not going to score loads and loads of goals, then your number one priority is you can't concede goals, which is why you'll have seen the manager be a wee bit more cautious, defensive, because we can create chances and we can try and be effective in the final third, but if you're losing goals like we've seen with Rangers in the Rangers game, you lose goals, you put yourself behind the 8 ball almost, with how difficult it is to then go on and win the game. And I think that they're prioritising trying to make sure that we're not open and conceding goals at the back. Swallow must have something like 17 clean sheets or something like that this season. It must be something insane, because
what's it, 5 in a row at home now?
It feels like he doesn't concede. And he went so under the radar, Swallow, all season, because he's so comfortable with the ball at his feet. It's insane. He's also so aggressive at defending his 6-yard box. He'll come and punch, no hassle whatsoever. He'll come and catch, no hassle at all.
He's solid as well.
He is solid.
Off him. Yeah, he's a tank.
He is. He's solid, and it's no one seems to be speaking about him, which I think is kind of a good thing, because I think he's been phenomenal this year. I'd love to keep a hold of him for as long as we can, because he's been, when you're not talking about Craig Gordon, who has been an absolute hero for us. And then you're not even missing, for example, like Xander Clark. We were on that debate all last season about Gordon v Xander Clark, and now you're not even mentioning either of the two of them. None of us are even complaining that Gordon's injured and out, so it's Ryan Fulton or whatever his name is the backup keeper.
Didn't even realise.
We only have Swallow on loan, don't we?
No.
He's a
He's a Hearts. He's a Hearts player.
To answer your question, he's on 14 and 25. 14 clean sheets, 25 games.
So that's decent.
Over 50% of his games he keeps a clean sheet. Remember Pereira had, what was it, something like he faced... Did he face 53? Let me do it properly, let me do it justice. It was 53 shots on target and conceded 25 goals. Or something like that. It was literally every other shot was a goal. It was insane, mate. It was absolutely...
He's got a better clean sheet percentage than Pereira has as shot saved.
Wow. Shot saved, mate. Like, honestly, it's absolutely bananas. But yeah, and I think that credit to, Frankie Kent, Michael Steinvender, I thought he gets a lot of stick, right? Which I get, I understand it, right? But he's a centre half being asked to play right back, and then you see him in his sort of more natural position on Saturday, and I thought that he looks a much better player. He's rapid, quick, and to be honest, the criticism that you have for him is he doesn't like running backwards towards our goal with the ball coming over his head, but neither does Frankie Kent. So it's just one of those things. I actually think Frankie Kent can find himself very hard done by. I no having that's a second yellow.
No, it's not gonna fail.
I'm not having that.
Yeah. See, before that, right? Do we need to maybe carve out 5 minutes to have a chat about our Frankie? Right. So, like, where do you stand on him overall? I'm curious to hear your opinion before I give mine.
Well, I think that when you take into the consideration that Halkett has been out, Finlay is out, I think that he's done a job. I think he's done a job for us. I don't think that he's not better than Halkett, he's not better than Finlay, but they're the type of boys, your Frankie Kents, your Blair Spittles, they're the guys that are going to be the sort of main reasons as to why we're still in a title race. The guys that are happy to be there, no causing a disruption, happy to get on with it. And then when they're asked to come in, they're giving you a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every game. And I actually thought Frankie Kent was more than decent on Saturday. Like I said, I'm not convinced that the second one is a yellow card, given that Maeda, not Oxley Chamberlain in the Celtic Motherwell game doesn't get booked in the first half for a second bookable, and then the Maeda challenge is questionable as if it's a red anyway. We
watched the Willie Collins.
There's no point. No point. But is that 4 out of our last 8 games have had a red card? Is that right? It'd be something close to that.
Can it be far off?
Swallow at Dundee, Benny at St Mirren, Halkett at St Mirren, Kent.
Yeah.
It'd be 4 out of the last 9 or something potentially. But I think Frankie Kent was one of your standout players 2 seasons ago. But I don't know if that's because of the players that he was playing against now. Now that you've got Halkett's the best centre half in the league by a country mile, and the fact that he's known that Scotland squad is absolutely mental. Especially if Grant Hanley got in it, I never even gave it the courtesy to look. I just knew that that Halkett wasn't in it, so I didn't even look to see if Hanley had made the squad.
Grant Hanley, and I don't give a shit about Scotland, but as we all know and as well documented, but I would guarantee that Hanley is in that squad just because Steve Clarke is a sentimental old fool, and we know that.
Yeah, Well, we've got a wee lull. I'll pull some comments in for what we've just discussed as well. Wee man Wanjo discussing what you said about Kurjota and the likes, but I think if this was a normal season and we were just going for third, fourth, we'd see a lot more guys like Kurjota, Altena, Mato, etc. But there's just too much riding on this hard to blood guys in.
Agreed.
Agree with. Yeah. Where are we? In regards to Kent, 2x4 wood. Nice. Be serious. He's very good 4th, 5th choice centre back. Good quality for a man that far down the pecking order.
Yep. I would agree. That was summed up better than I summed it up.
And we've had Wanjo as well. We should be appealing that yellow card and putting a club statement out on X to say that we're appealing it.
Don't
Works
think you can appeal. You can't appeal
you
the yellow
card. But I understand what I've said it before, that as we grow into this over the seasons, we have to become smarter with how we influence things. You know, Rangers and Celtic constantly make a noise whenever anything goes against them. One, it appeases their fans, but it just reminds the refs who they're reffing. You don't want your name in the paper. You don't want to be all over social media. You don't want the abuse. You don't want to be abused when you're at your family having dinner, etc., etc. Then don't get decisions against us wrong. And I think when you win football matches, it's a good opportunity to say the referee was horrendous on Saturday for both teams. I thought he was shocking, and it bugs me. What bugs me is that there's always like, as soon as one little thread starts to come loose, it just unravels and they just lose the plot. They forget everything that they're doing. They just start going absolute wild with what they're up to. But I would like Hearts to start talking about decisions, start bringing things like that up. You know, it's like you said now, what, 50%, 40% of our last however many games we've had a man sent off. I'm not sure how many people Rangers have had sent off this season. I'd be questioning how Oxley Chamberlain didn't get a second yellow. If Frankie Kent's a second yellow, then the Oxley Chamberlain one should be a second yellow. Just start that little subtle. You're not calling anybody out. You're not being bitter or whatever it is, but you're just letting the people in charge know, listen, we won't stand for that. We won't sit back and be silent. It's I don't know if you want to call it the art of war. It's the dark art stuff. That's what Celtic and Rangers are really good at. And then if we need to invest in a couple of absolute bammers to start talking shite in the media. But like your Chris Suttons and that saying, oh, Derek McInnes is the reason Hearts won't win the league because he banged into some wee knob for Aberdeen. It's like, he's a brick, mate. He's a brick. But they're all the wee dark art stuff.
Use that Celtic example of the sending off at Tynecastle. Every single possible denying of a goal scoring opportunity has been a red since then. Do you know what I mean? Every single one.
And also, but look at the reaction to it. It was the most glaringly obvious red card on planet Earth. And the talking point from that whole thing, if we were living on a sensible planet, would have been, wait a minute, why did the referee give a yellow in that situation? That's the most glaringly obvious thing that jumps off the page, is that's never a yellow card in a million years. Anyway, let's not go down that rabbit hole because we'll be here. We'll be here all night. But I know that wee man Wanjo was having a laugh there. But it is a valid point about calling that stuff out when we see it. So first half was pretty meh at points. Like I said, I thought Altena was a bit of a bright spark. I thought Steinvender had a good game. I thought defensively we were absolutely solid. You're looking at a team that I think that they only played, I don't even know if they've ever even played with each other.
Back four certainly didn't I?
Yeah, I think it's a total makeshift patchwork team. And then you look at the fact that Milne's dropped out of there. You got half fit Cammy Devlin, you got Shankland on the bench. Nobody's made enough of our injury crisis. When you look at how Celtic were going on about it, if Rangers had the same, you're looking at 6 or 7 players that would potentially get a game start for almost every team in the league that are out. The team's done unbelievably well to stay where we are now, to stay top of the league and to keep churning out performances, because it doesn't look like there's not a huge drop off in performance when we make the changes. Come on, like a bit of an anomaly, given that was just a shit show from the start. But what the first half was okay, with it being like absolutely amazing, but in total and utter control. And then
a question about you in the first half. Sorry, before you move on, but see the Braga chance with the back heel from Altena. Does he have that penalty in the back of his mind for last week that should have been a penalty? Do you know what I mean?
My thing is, and this is what bugs me, Hizzy and Braga, is he either shoots quicker when he takes the first touch in and hits it first time, sweeps it across the keeper. Listen to me like I'm Alan Shearer, but that's what he would do. But he takes a touch and then he's so desperate to shoot with his right foot when the natural shot is the side foot with his left foot. But he's so desperate to get in because he goes with his right foot. That's what it makes the defender easy to put him off, and then obviously he skews it wide. They had another chance like that in the first half as well, where he was so determined to hit it with his right foot when the better option was to hit it with his left foot. It's a mere natural finish. But it was never a penalty in your life. It was never a penalty in your life. He actually should have, like I said, they should have done better. It was a good chance. The Kabore chance as well. He's got loads of options. He could try and take it around the keeper. He can take another touch, and I kind of understand why he's went for the dink. You know, try and rectify the mistake he made with Aberdeen by missing the chance. But the game, first half and then into the second half, it was life before Shankland and life after Shankland. As soon as Shankland came on, I actually thought that the Spittle substitution with Shankland was a real key changer for us as well, because actually, talking about the starting 11, I actually felt it was pretty unfair on Spittle to drop out. But when he came on, he made such a difference because he plays the ball forward. You know, he passes forward. He'll play first time passes. He doesn't always have to take a touch, and he also shoot. He can shoot from the edge of the box as well. Like you look at the. He had a couple of shots, one that ricocheted and fell for Shankland, and then the other one that came back out, and then we recycled it, and it was the Frankie Kent penalty shout at the back post, which was never a penalty either. But
at the time, I was seeing that Spittle substitution. I was like, why are we not swapping it? So it's a straight swap. Sort of Altena goes to right back and McEntee comes off. Obviously, in hindsight, that would have been a terrible decision because we wouldn't have scored. But you look at that and you're like, what was that? But do you know what I mean? It was kind of like, I thought it would be a like in midfield type thing, but yeah.
That's why we're not the managers, Tam. That's why we're not the managers.
Yeah.
But Ando, the lift that you could see that forget the crowd have spoke about that, but the lift that it gave the team. You know, you look at the attacking intent. As soon as Shankland came on, we looked a much more cohesive threat than we did at any point during the game.
Aye, and even just like chasing down second balls, like there was a lot more. Like everyone just seems to be a yard sharper, right? And that's the unknown quantity. Is like and I get that, you know, as you say, we've spoken about the crowd. Even if the crowd were at full pelt and full voice, right? There's a difference between that happening and what happens in the stands, right? You could see it. Everybody was just sharper, quicker, more attentive. You know, whatever description you want to give it. They were just all over it. They were just better for that moment forward.
Well, I would also add as well that it can't be overstated how much difference that makes to Dundee's like defending. It gives them so much more to think about. And their two centre halves had actually a pretty good game up until sort of, well, the goal and him coming on, but it gives them so much more to think about than Kabore. Just the way he runs the line to Shankland, it's just, as you said earlier, McInnes said it himself, he's the best striker in the league. And yeah.
And you look at Kabore needs time to adapt, right? And he needs a pre-season, needs to learn a wee bit trade from Shankland and get up to speed with what Scottish football is. And the one that stood out the most about that was that Shankland's wee half volley thing that hits the defender and then the keeper the keeper saves it, and then his little turn and shot type thing. You talk about there is like Dundee's game plan. Any team that's ever played against Messi, any team that's ever played against Ronaldo will be, make sure you're touch tight to Ronaldo. Didn't let him turn and shoot, and then he turns and shoots 4 or 5 times in the game and scores a hat trick. And you think, did you not have a plan for Ronaldo? And it's like, there is a plan, but just because you've got a plan doesn't mean that you'll be able to do anything about it. Shankland's game intelligence about when to peel off a defender, when to stay back, when to stand still, when to move forward, when to and that's all the stuff that Kabore just doesn't have. In Shankland's ability to make himself a half yard and shoot. How many times same with Braga and Kizzy and Kabore, how many times have you watched them touch, second touch, third touch, shot, and it's like, no, touch and shoot, touch and shoot, touch and shoot. That's what all good strikers do. And they don't need to know where they are on the pitch. Like Shankland turned and shot if he almost scored for his own half, because he knows where the goal is. And that was like so obvious when Shankland came on, is that he started to pick up those little pockets in between the Dundee centre halves that Kabore just never picked up any time in the game, and Braga struggles to pick up in those games, in the game as well. And there's just you could just sense that everybody kind of got that wee bit of confidence that there was someone up there that they trusted, and that's not an insult to Kabore to say that they trust Shankland over Kabore. Obviously, Shankland's numbers speak for himself. If Craig Halkett's the best centre half in the league, Lawrence Shankland is by far the best striker in the league. So I'm looking forward to see what happens at Livy. It felt like a pivotal moment. I didn't want to overstate that, but it did feel like a pivotal moment. It felt like everybody kind of went, aye, this is what we needed.
It was like a wee weight was lifted in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, we've got through it, we're ready for it. Now it's the fucking run-in type thing. So yeah.
Aye, it's like anything you probably know had a fight in your lifetime, but if you've gone for a fight and
just been battered loads by your man.
It's me and you, Tam. I'm probably less confident, but if it's me, you, and Mike Tyson or whatever, you feel a bit more. You get the chest out a wee bit, and that's what I felt like with Shankland. Was almost like, my big brother's coming. Like, you want to fight me and slag me? Well, let's wait, because my big brother's on his way. And that presence, you can tell that folk, again, do I keep going on about it? Folk moaning about him being captain last year and saying he's never a captain, he's never a leader, all that type of stuff, mate. Like, those 25 minutes that he came on the pitch, the ability to grab 20,000 people and say, no, come on, let's get your finger out. The ability to take that team and say, come on, let's go up a level, just by his performance, just by walking on the pitch. He shows you everything that you need, and why he's so pivotal to whether we're not going to win a title or not win a title.
Absolutely.
Correct, Alan.
But I don't even fight sleep very well, Alan.
You can't fight the toilet and the bladder. That's about it. And he never fucking wins, man.
Oh, yeah, we've been online now for 54 minutes and counting, and he hasn't went for a third piss yet.
But look at him rocking back and forth, mate.
Exactly.
I'm squirming. Can we wrap it up, please? Nah.
Like a junkie on dry out.
You talk about even Kabore's obviously started the last however many games or whatever, 7 out the last 8 games, something like that. And even the way that he greeted Shankland on the pitch, you can just see that as a captain.
Mate, he'll be. I've seen enough from Kabore to think there's a player there, right? Kabore for me has done more in the Hearts jersey than Chesnikov has, and his willingness to run, or that, and the things that he lacks are things that I think he can learn. That you can learn that stuff. It's the bits that you can teach somebody are that. Want to be a part of the team, want to do the hard yards, want to do all that stuff. And he's probably been sitting counting down the days to be like, can just come back, man. Take some of the pressure off me. Because then imagine, if roles reversed are on Saturday, Shankland and Braga and Kizzy and those have ran around for 70, 75 minutes, and then when defenders are tiring, the game's a bit stretched, there's a bit more space, there's a bit more opportunity to get to the byline, and you bring in a Kabore on, he's probably relishing the fact that being like, brilliant, this is I've got an opportunity now to go and make a difference type thing. So I thought Shankland being back is one of those messages to the rest of the league to be like, remember that we've had pretty much all of our best players out for the last 9 weeks and we're still top, and now everybody's going to be back for the run-in. So then we've added quality. You know, Devlin comes back and gets up to speed. Mark Leonard is an absolute starter for us every single week. Another unbelievable performance on Saturday. If Braga and Kessie can find form, if Shankland can be Shankland, you know, Finlay and Halkett come back, they're the best centre-back pairing in the league. Swallow doesn't concede goals. Milne has had a bit of a break and will have a few breaks there. He's been held together by blue tack and fucking lollipop stick because he's been deed. And then you've got Altena or McEntee to play right back, mate. That's an unbelievable team.
What is your starting 11 now? If it's fully fit, it's quite hard.
I think I just said it now.
I think you mentioned about 15 players there, but aye.
Yeah, you're looking at Swallow and goal. I would like Altena to play right back, but I know that Derek McInnes is not going to. So it's going to be McEntee right back. It's going to be Halkett, Finlay, Milne. Probably looking at Devlin and Leonard. Then you're probably looking at Kessie, Braga, Spittle, and Shankland. Would be my team. You know, Spittle playing in the 10, getting the ball, pinging it into feet. I think that would be the team. That would be the team for me. But we'll probably see some form of 4-4-2 because that's what Derek McInnes likes. But I'm not against that either, as long as it's not the box, because I can't handle that.
And Chesnikov starting off.
I don't try and win it. But Tam, you're actually going to get a break because I can hear my little girl shouting on me. So
are you making excuses to go to the toilet, Corbett?
I'll be waiting 2 seconds because it's 10:05 and I put them to bed an hour and a half ago. So while they're up the stairs, I'll be back. Like, talk amongst yourselves.
I'll try and bring in some comments then for us to go over. And what can we go with? Here's Alan Miller here. So, will this break be to our advantage? Rangers get too cocky and Celtic too frustrated at their Dundee United loss.
Yeah, I think any break in proceedings just now helps us because, especially when you're on the back of a win, if you've won your last game, you can sit there chest puffed out, tits out, chin up, the whole shooting match, whereas Celtic are going to have to ruminate on that for 2 weeks and like get themselves into a frenzy about what went wrong. I've already seen a couple of media articles today about Callum McGregor saying, "Oh, we need to do this, we need to do that, blah blah blah." Fuck them, right? Who cares? The Rangers are again similar position to us. The only thing I'm hoping for with them is with being an international break. They've got a far. They probably well, I don't know, but I would guess that they've probably got a few more internationals than we have. So hopeful for a couple of injuries or a couple of batters and bruises, and stuff like that. Maybe try and impact their momentum a wee bit. But yeah, at this time of year when we've got players that are just coming back, it's another 2 weeks of training for those that aren't on international duty to get fitter, stronger, and just get ready to go. So yeah, I think it does play into our favour, only because we've won. If we'd been beaten on Saturday, it'd be a different kettle of fish because you'd be in the same position as Celtic, just worrying about the performance and how you fix it.
So,
that was embarrassing. They're listening to an audiobook. So, going up the stairs like the fucking man's voice in my kid's room. What the fuck?
Talking to embarrassing.
He's like Chuck Norris, man.
Talking to
yeah.
dads as well.
Rest in peace, Chuck Norris. He passed away during the week, didn't he?
Talking
one from my homies that never made it.
I've got another comment for us. So Leonard crosses in the free kick and the boy behind me shouts "fucking shite" just before McEntee scores. Same guy's on Heart Standard today, like he's some football expert.
Well done, Bill.
It was funny because do you ever get that shout?
Because one of your mates as well, Corbett, saying the boy's close. So
you win because you're like that angle where you're miles away and you go like shoot, and then you watch the highlights back and fuck, he's 45 yards. 45 yards away we go. When Leonard just did that wee dinking at that's if 4-4-2 in a box midfield is my least favourite of the formations. That wee stupid dink free kick king, I detest. So I looked up, seen him just thinking, and I was like, shite. And then it was goal. Yes.
Right. You need to shout shite at every
every Hearts. Well, it was good that actually we talk about it. It was good that we re-employed the set piece guy, because like he's obviously he must have been off for a few weeks. He must have had a couple of weeks off or something, because our corners had become atrocious. So it was nice to get a wee set play goal. Like,
to be fair, you see that ball in, and you're like, how has that made it all the way to that back post? To be honest with you, but take it.
We'll take it all day long. And it was funny because actually one of the other reasons why I shouted shite was because they remember they tried it like 2 minutes earlier. They had like, I could see them all arranging where to go and what to do and that, and then they did that short pass and that dink ball and just had it clean out of play, and I was like, brilliant lads. Brilliant lads, well done. Well done.
Restart the counter.
Restart the counter. Right, so 3 points. Obviously, then Celtic play. Rangers win comfortably at home against that. Aberdeen are gone. I'm telling you, it's going to be Livy and Aberdeen that go down, because Aberdeen are abysmal. I think it's pretty tight now. It's only 3 points between all of them, innit?
Oh Christ! I didn't realise that. Yeah, 27 for Kilmarnock and St Mirren and 30 for Aberdeen. Wow.
I don't pay attention too much to Championship football, but I'm pretty sure that Partick Thistle they won again tonight against Raith Rovers, so they're way out in second. So,
and I think it's Aberdeen St Mirren in Paisley on Saturday, like when the fixtures come back.
Oh,
you're right.
Come on, St Mirren.
Aye.
Never cheered for that bunch of fucking goons in my life, but I'm cheering for them this week. Whenever they play.
And also Dundee United.
Aberdeen. Is this right, actually? And I don't know, maybe this is a legacy thing that I got told in the pub once, and I'm not sure if it's true. Aberdeen are one of the teams that have never been relegated out of the top division.
By a technicality.
Right?
Yeah.
By technicality, because Falkirk never had a 10,000-seater stadium.
The stadium was pish. Fair enough.
And also they were only properly founded in like fucking 1915 or some shit like that, when everybody had already been about for about 80 years. Because nobody knew that there was anything past Perth or Dundee or whatever. They're like, fuck, is there still stuff up there? Who the fuck's up there?
Aberdeen go down, right? Aberdeen, I fucking can't stand them, right? They're away up there in the northeast. Nobody likes me, everybody hates me, I'm going to go and eat worms, all that fucking high school, just pish. I hate them. I can't stand them. To get them down to the Championship and get Plastic Whistle or whatever they're called up, I'm all for it. Get Aberdeen in the bin, make them irrelevant.
Tarmac, Northwood, Dundee, just fucking just tarmac it, mate. A big car park for everybody, because everything else is shit out there.
I'm sure.
So
you've got more better in your old days. I'm sure it was Perth before, but you've went a wee bit more north, so well done.
Oh, actually, I'll take a wee bit of an exception to that. I've done the North Coast 500 a couple of times in a camper van, right? And there are parts of way up north that are lovely and beautiful, but that's
what Google's for.
That whole northeast corner of Scotland. So see from Inverness, everything east of that, and then everything down to the Forth Road Bridge. Fuck it, the Forth Road Bridge. Sorry, Hearts fans, if you're in Dunfermline or whatever, but you're a car park as well. Beat it.
The North, what's it called? The Highland 500 or something. It's just stuff for guys that like to shag in vans. Like, get a real hobby. Get a real hobby. It's no 1980 anymore, man. Why are you Buffalo Billing folk? Like, you didn't need to, mate. Like, get a PlayStation or something. You'll be sound. Put some Google up.
I've had a PlayStation. I've played all the games. I've done the NC 500. Had a great time. But
how was the vans at night?
Sorry. Well, if it's a rocking, don't go a knocking. I've learned that.
Right. Where are we then? How are we feeling? Title challenge wise, what's your? I've been trying to sit and figure out the split's going to be mental, man. Like, I don't even know how you would even start describing what the games could be, who we could play, when we could play. It's all bananas.
Forget the split, right? I'll just say it because, as I say, I'm down south in London. I've had this conversation about 10 times today from people that I've not caught up with in a while, and obviously they know the scenario. Like, do the podcast or whatever, big Hearts fan, all the rest of it, right? Every single person that I've bumped into today from old roles or whatever has asked me the same question. Oh, top of the league, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And I'll tell you the same thing as I've told them today, which is I'm not going to allow myself to say it out loud until it's actually fucking done, right? Then, can we do it? Possibly. Do I think we'll do it? I'm not giving you a clear-cut answer. Deep down, right, and I'm doing gesturing, conscious camera isn't on. But I'm nodding my head because I can't actually verbally say.
It's imperative that we get to the end of the Motherwell game and still have some form of points cushion. If we can, look, if I was going to be selfish and be like, if we could control what would happen, obviously Dundee United would beat Rangers and Dundee would beat Celtic and all, but that's not going to happen. But if we can get 3 points, which is the most important thing against Livingston, and then potentially add some positives in the goal difference column, if we can get that advantage again in the goal difference stakes, then you're almost, that gives you a 2-loss cushion, because even if you lose your 3 points advantage, you're still top on goal difference and head to head. So, it's imperative that we get to the split with some form of cushion, because every week somebody will lose. Like, it's just the way that it goes. You've got, and I keep, and there'll be other Hearts fans that, I don't know if you're dreaming about it as a nightmare scenario for you or whatever it is, but I think that the derby's going to be so important, because if we can pick up points in a game where we maybe would be expected not to win, with the Old Firm, we're probably playing the same day as well. So that's the one for me where, like, if you can get points out of that, then you got a bit of a cushion, because it's probably one that you probably couldn't afford to lose the derby and then lose one of the 2 games against the Old Firm, because let's not forget we still have to go to Celtic Park, which could be very, very difficult, and then we still have to go to either Falkirk or Motherwell. One of them will be made to play at Tynecastle, I would imagine. So, it's scary stuff.
Really confused me with a lot of options and scared me with a lot of options. But
I'm
even when
one of the lads that works for me, and he'd said that historically, the person that would be chosen to take the imbalance, as it were, would be the lowest placed team if it's an option from the previous season, which would automatically mean Falkirk. So Falkirk will likely be asked to come to Tynecastle. I don't know how true that is, if that's just him talking shit, or if
we've landed on the side of that before, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, so, like, just to be clear for everybody, like, where there's an offset and someone has to do 3 and 1 rather than 2 and 2, the person that is on the losing end of that deal was the lowest placed team if there's a decision between the two. So Falkirk come to us.
There's other crazy things, Steph. We're still top of the league when the decision for the split is made. Normally they make the team that's top of the league play the last game of the season at home.
Yeah.
Which means that we're probably looking at a run of 3 away games in a row in the split, because of the way that it'll go, or like the first 2 games of the split could be 2 away games. Maybe Easter Road and Celtic Park. And then
Rangers. They'd have Rangers at home on the last game of the season.
And they're going to front load the derby as well. They're not going to leave that till later in the season. Like that'll be the first or the second game.
And actually, if Hearts are listening now, let's preempt it and get in front of it immediately. Don't let Rangers in the bottom half of the Roseburn, because if we're in a title decider and you don't think that they'll try and get on the pitch or run on the pitch and all that stuff, you're stupid. If you're watching the Old Firm, don't give them the bottom half. Give them the top quarter, and you cannot. I'm telling you now that there'll be riots if you sell tickets to Rangers fans in the hospitality suites. And they're going to. I know that they're going to. Like, I absolutely know that they're going to, because they're not going to miss selling those hospitality tickets, and that means that anybody that's got a buy-in history, they're going to get tickets in there. And I'll use it again when the Tagawa draw, like because Rangers thought they were still going to be in a title race when the fixtures were released for the split. Like we know the guys who had East Calder Rangers book the captain's table. They had 3 tables there at the bit, literally just posting on social media that that's where they were going. They had 3 tables. They were taking 90 folk or whatever it is, 60 folk, however many people it was. So, like, Hearts have to be really, really, really switched on with what they want it to be like. Because if it's a title decider and we lose and and you don't think they're going to celebrate in hospitality, you're mental. And if you think that after being top of the league for however many weeks, and that we'll just stand back and be like, oh, cool, yeah, no, we're making 45 grand a match day in the hospitality. We'll just allow these away fans to celebrate winning the title at Tynecastle. Like, they have to do something. I've been telling them for 3 years that that something was coming, and now we're coming to a title decider, a title challenge where they won't even be sitting thinking about this. They won't have had meetings about this. They won't have had conversations about this. They'll have just been like, but we make money from it, so they'll sell it. And
has
when
anyone logged into the bank account and seen actually how healthy the balance sheet is, right?
It's about 45. It's about 45 grand a match day.
We can do a GoFundMe and cover it. Fuck it.
But again, it's one of those things that if Hearts are listening, which I know some of you do, you need to start vocalising to the fans what your plan is for hospitality for those games, because it is. Look at the reaction to Celtic celebrating in front of them when they knocked them out the Scottish Cup. Look at their reaction to when Hibs were celebrating in front of them when they won the Scottish Cup. What do you think they're going to do if we win the league title at Tynecastle playing against them? You think that they're just going to leave the stadium and be sound? Like, if we win the title, there'll be a pitch invasion from us, whether you like it or no, and the people on kickback, they can start as many threads as they want, telling people, oh, don't go on the pitch. The people will be on the pitch who win the league. Just fucking deal with it, grow up. So, like, you just have to do something.
I'll be there, and you'll have to fucking dig a hole and bury me, because that'll be the end of it.
I'll never leave. I know. I've told you. I've already said to my wife and kids, after we win the league. If we win the league, I'll be living in the Gorgie farm. I'll be some Gorgie Jake ball that just walks about telling people that I was there when Hearts won the league with a couple of cans and a brown paper bag.
Oh, you'll have to climb over me to do it.
I'll have the Henry Smith jumper on, just telling folk that I put some flags up outside the stadium.
I was on the radio.
Right. Any other comments before we patch it?
Where was I? I've lost it.
This is Tam's classic. Tam stalling for time because he's not been paying attention.
If you star the messages or favourite,
I know. I realised that. I realised that last week and I done it and then failed. Alan Miller, what are predictions regarding Hibs? Will they do any favours at all? Their draw specialists, I'm expecting some when they play the split apart from we skip them.
Hibs will do a raffle for fans to play in the games versus Celtic and Rangers. You better bet your house on it. And why wouldn't they? Imagine, put yourself in out, like roles reverse it, right? If we had a team coming to Tynecastle knowing that if we beat them, it wins Hibs a title or it hands Hibs the advantage in a title. No, absolutely no chance they're going to try in any of those games other than the game against us. Remember that this is a team that voted against us so that they could, and then knowing that they would drop a league position and cost themselves X amount of hundreds of thousands of pounds just to spite us to get us out the league. They're not going to try a jot in the split. What we need to be praying for and hoping for as it stands right now is a complete and utter Celtic implosion where Celtic are completely and utterly out of the title race in the split, because that means that they'll try like hell in the Old Firm to stop Rangers from winning the league, and they'll try not a jot against us to stop Rangers winning the league. That's the perfect scenario for us.
See, I've already mentioned one of the lads is just down the corridor. And Mark, I told you to fucking tune in. So if you're watching this, put it in the comments and tell everybody just how fucking nervous a shite bag yous are as a support that we are actually going to go and do this. Right? They, to a man, I think are absolutely cacking their fucking knickers that we.
That's Celtic.
No, Hibs.
All right,
aye. Like, so chatting about it in the in work earlier on, right? They asked them the question, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fear are you that we're actually going to do it? Is that, mate? Not going to lie, we're up to about an 8.9 to a 9 now. Right? It's been rising every single week. Everybody's expecting the wheels to come off. It hasn't actually happened yet. It's getting real now.
Well, I even seen like on Saturday they had Union Jacks out and everything. Hibs at the Motherwell game, so they're absolutely desperate for as I keep saying to the folk at work that are Hibs, being like, you're either going to have the greatest summer of your whole entire life, or you're going to have the worst summer you've ever, because there's going to be no in between. Like, so,
no,
you said it earlier though that when you get to the split, genuinely, you never see a top six like this where every team could beat everyone. Like, you usually get like a St Mirren or a scrape it in, whoever else scrape it in. But Falkirk will cause problems. Motherwell will obviously cause problems. Hibs will probably cause problems as well.
None of them are beating us though, Tam.
Well, there you have it. And this is quite an interesting comment from Boohoo 1902. But only 2 weekends this whole season have Hearts, Rangers, and Celtic all won. We all drop points.
Yep, and I don't think that'll change. The only thing now is I feel slightly more confident that with Shankland back, Devlin back, Halkett back, that we're in a much stronger place where we are. I still think that Rangers look weak away from home, as much as we look weak away from home, having lost our last 4 away games or whatever it is, or something daft like that. I can't remember what is it, something like that, in it 3 the last 4 or something away games we've lost. 4 out of the last 6 we've lost when we've been away from home. So we definitely need to get better at that. But having Shankland back, having the team fit, I think it will have a huge lift on the team. And then also the fact that you're walking out at Livy in front of what will be 8,000 Hearts fans, pretty much. It will be three quarters of the whole stadium filled with Hearts fans, and Livy have had to stop selling tickets in the home end because, again, what we've just spoke about there'll be probably Hearts fans in the home end. So that's what it is. Right.
It'll be interesting to see though the Livy game. I know you're probably going to just lead on to predictions for that, but like, what can this be the first time we've been second in the league since August, September? Because of the goal difference, depending on the Rangers result, but be interesting to see how we handle that as well.
Yeah, and listen, I've said this earlier as well, that if you think the noise around us losing to Kilmarnock and Celtic being 2 points behind us, they'll have the bunting out and the champagne out and everything if Rangers go top of the league, because that's what every single person in the media wants, because they don't want Hearts to be in the title race. They want a title race in Scotland, but what they want is Celtic versus Rangers. They want the old firm. They want the horses on the pitch. They want Helicopter Sunday, because that's what gets them likes and clicks and TV programming, etc., etc., etc. They don't want Hearts to do any of that. And then you add in the fact that they're all absolutely mad Rangers, most of them, that it's going to be outrageous, the press from after 5 o'clock on Saturday all the way till we kick off on the Sunday. Because, like I said, that's what every single person in the media wants, is they want Rangers and Celtic to be winning titles, and they'll absolutely cream their pants if Rangers look like they're the ones that are going to win the title. So we have to stick our chests out and deal with it. We have to silence that, because we've been good at doing that all season long, and we have to be prepared that come Sunday when we kick off, we will be second, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, Hearts knocked off top spot for the first time in 52 weeks or whatever the hell it is, works out to be. It's going to be all of that sort of stuff.
I didn't even put that up. That's you.
No, I done that. I couldn't help it. I just flicked onto the comments, seen Big Bill say that. I was like, that's comedy gold.
Their predictions because it's so far away. We'll maybe do we'll do a podcast before.
We'll do a preview.
We'll do a preview of the game before we kick off or whatever that is there, and we won't be talking about Scotland. So we'll see you in probably a week's time, and we can talk about real football again.
All right, Scotland game's on at this time a week's time. I'll be otherwise occupied.
No one cares, Tam.
You can go watch that game all you want. I will not. I will not be participating. Right, Trips. Thank you. Thanks for everybody that's commented for staying up to 10:30 on a Tuesday night. I appreciate it. We'll see you all next week. All right.
Cheers.
Catch you there.
Gorgeous.